A surprising new romance could be on the horizon, as Jodie Ramsey makes an unexpected connection through a dating app. During Tuesday's episode, the aftermath of Kit Green's explosive dinner gathering continued to ripple across Weatherfield. At the same time, Sarah Platt was under increasing pressure as she struggled to keep the truth surrounding Theo Silverton's death hidden. With Sarah overwhelmed and unable to finish a Tin Man outfit for Harry's upcoming school performance, David suggested that Jodie lend a hand. She happily agreed, allowing Shona and David to enjoy a rare evening together as they continue working through their relationship difficulties while Harper remains in hospital. Before long, however, Jodie's focus shifted elsewhere. While using a glue gun to complete the costume, a notification appeared on her phone. Curious, she checked her dating app and discovered that 2 men had matched with her profile. The first match failed to spark any excitement, but the second immediately grabbed her attention. Viewers saw Jodie smile as she looked at her screen, although the identity of the mystery man was not revealed at the time. Upcoming episodes have since confirmed that the lucky match is Ryan Connor. In scenes airing on Thursday, Jodie will begin pursuing Ryan romantically. However, suspicions arise when she suddenly changes the venue for their date after discovering that David is planning to meet Nick at the bistro. This unexpected development represents a major shift for Jodie, who has spent months fixated on David. Despite numerous disappointments and setbacks, she has shown little willingness to abandon her feelings for Shona's husband. Her sudden decision to alter the date location may leave others wondering whether she genuinely wants to get to know Ryan or if she is simply using him as another excuse to stay close to David. According to an insider from Coronation Street, Jodie's obsession with David remains as strong as ever. More than anything, Jodie wants to be with David, the source explained. It's still unclear whether her goal is to steal him away purely to hurt Shona or because she truly has feelings for him. Either way, after her previous attempt failed, she's certainly not ready to give up. The latest storyline follows several unsuccessful schemes aimed at creating problems between David and Shona. Earlier this year, Jodie tried to seduce David, but the plan ended in embarrassment when it backfired. More recently, she appeared to be moving on after forming a connection with Daniel Osborne. That relationship quickly collapsed when Daniel learned that Jodie was secretly operating as the online troublemaker known as Truth Teller, who had been targeting him through a social media campaign. After exposing her actions, Daniel forced her out of his home, leaving Jodie with little choice but to return to David and Shona's house. As a result, she remains firmly involved in their lives, and concern continues to grow over what she might do next. Sam makes a troubling request in Coronation Street as Nick becomes increasingly concerned about his son's well-being. The young resident has spent recent weeks receiving treatment in a psychiatric facility after suffering a severe psychotic episode. During his breakdown, Sam began seeing and hearing Roy Cropper, despite Roy not being there, leaving him unable to separate reality from hallucination. Before these visions of Roy started, Sam had already been imagining encounters with Will Driscoll. He became convinced that Will was targeting him after Sam exposed the abuse the teenager had endured at the hands of Megan Walsh. Prior to revealing the truth to Leanne Battersby, Sam had been pressured by the local teacher into staying silent about Megan's behavior towards Will. The emotional strain eventually became overwhelming, pushing Sam into crisis at the beginning of June. Things reached a dramatic turning point after an incident in the cafe involving both the real Roy and one of Sam's hallucinations. Distressed and confused, Sam ran away from the street and hid alone in the precinct. He was eventually discovered by Carla Connor Swain, who immediately recognized the symptoms because of her own previous experience with psychosis. Carla contacted Nick, who rushed to his son's aid and took him to hospital. Following an assessment, Sam was detained for treatment and later diagnosed with schizophrenia. Since then, Sam has made encouraging progress, and in upcoming scenes, Nick and Toya Battersby are informed that there is a strong possibility he could return home by the end of the week. However, a new concern emerges when Sam reveals that he wants to attend Megan's court case, believing that witnessing the trial could help him find closure and move forward. Nick is instantly uneasy about the idea, fearing that being present during such an emotional hearing could have a negative effect on his recovery. As the trial draws closer, Sam becomes increasingly anxious about the outcome. He worries that Megan could be acquitted and then seek revenge against him for speaking out. With these fears weighing heavily on his mind, Nick is left facing a difficult decision. Will he allow Sam to attend the hearing or decide that the risk is simply too great? Coronation Street viewers believe they have already worked out Sarah Platt's next move as she desperately tries to hide the truth about Theo Silverton's death. During Monday's dramatic episode, the ITV soap finally revealed that Sarah was the person responsible for bringing Theo's reign of intimidation to an end. For months, Theo had subjected Todd Grimshaw to relentless emotional and physical abuse, leaving those around him increasingly concerned. Fans will remember that Theo's body was discovered by Betsy Swain on the night of her mother Lisa Swain's wedding to Carla Connor earlier this year. The shocking discovery marked the beginning of one of the soap's biggest mysteries. The storyline had actually been teased months before, when flash-forward scenes showed Betsy being questioned by police about finding the body of someone she knew. At the time, viewers were left guessing which resident would meet a tragic end. A week after the wedding episodes aired, it was finally confirmed that Theo was the victim. His death came shortly after he attempted to torment Todd one final time. The investigation that followed placed several Weatherfield residents under suspicion. Todd, George Shuttleworth, Summer Spellman, Christina Boyd, Gary Windus, and Danielle Silverton all found themselves under scrutiny as detectives searched for the killer. However, the truth turned out to be far more unexpected. Sarah was revealed to be the person whose actions led to Theo's fatal fall from the scaffolding outside his flat. A flashback sequence transported viewers back to the night of the incident. After receiving a suspicious message from Todd's phone, Sarah headed to the apartment she believed Todd was in. Upon arriving, she encountered an intoxicated Theo standing on the scaffolding surrounding the building. What began as a tense exchange quickly escalated into something much darker. Theo deliberately targeted Sarah's emotions, cruelly bringing up the son she and Todd lost more than 2 decades ago. As the confrontation intensified, he became increasingly threatening. Fearing for her safety, Sarah grabbed a metal pipe and struck Theo. The blow caused him to lose his balance and plunge from the scaffolding to the ground below. Realizing the devastating consequences of what had happened, Sarah immediately contacted Gary for help. Although he agreed to assist her, it was clear he was far from pleased about becoming involved in the situation. As events continue to unfold, Gary remains trapped by the secret while struggling with the guilt of keeping the truth from Maria. Meanwhile, Sarah's relationship with Detective Kit Green has led some viewers to fear that Gary could become the prime suspect. Many fans have taken to social media to share their theories, with several convinced that Sarah will ultimately protect herself at Gary's expense. Coronation Street continues to air on ITV1 and is also available to stream on ITVX.